Welcome to our fast entry snowboard binding video. I'm Nico from Blue Tomato and I'm here with
Ollie, hi.
So over the last 5 years, we've seen an increase of fast entry bindings in the binding market share, and they went up to 25%. So to answer the most frequently asked questions about all these different systems, we will present to you the 5 most popular systems that we also carry at Blue Tomato. There are more systems on the market, but we will show you these 5, which are the most popular and the most important ones. So, Ollie, what's the first one we got?
That's right. So we start things off with the Burton Step-On. Step-On is invented by Burton, but it's also available from other companies now. So Burton gives the license to more and more companies. And this is probably the most popular fast entry system on the market right now. One thing first, before you buy it, these boots and bindings are really gender and size specific. So, I mean, every boot binding combination is gender and size specific. But here it's really crucial because if you have the wrong size combination of boots and bindings, the clips just won't probably connect, and it can be really dangerous. But Burton helps you with that by indicating the correct size with colored labels on the bindings and on the boots. You see that here. So we have that neon yellow greenish label on the boots and bindings. So these two fit together, and each binding for each gender, for each size combination has a individual color, and like this you can separate it. So please double check this before you're buying. But once you got your setup, your boots and your binding, then you're ready to go, and it's all easy to get in. I mean, the name is Step On, and what you gotta do is just step on. You go in with your boot heel first. You slide down your foot down the high back. Then the heel cleat of the boot will connect with the heel clip. Then you hear 2 clicks. Then you push down your front foot. You slightly roll your foot sideways, and so you hear 1 click on the left, 1 click on the right, so 4 clicks in total, and then you are connected and then ready to go. So heel, toe, go. That's what Burton says. And to get out is also easy as that. Just pull up this lever on the side, lift your heel, and slightly twist out your foot. And then that's all about it.
Nice. So, can I use any snowboard boots with these bindings?
Unfortunately not, no. You have to buy special step-on boots, which have these heel cleats on the back and the toe cleats on the front, so you can connect to the bindings. But as I said, there are more and more companies jumping to the step-on train. So we have boots and bindings from Burton, from Nitro, and we also have boots from DC. And also new in the game is union bindings. So you have a wide range of brands to choose from.
Cool. So, you mentioned the sizes. What if I got the wrong size boot for my binding?
Then you have the problem that the boots won't properly connect to the clips. I mean, if the boot is too long or too small, you just won't have the toe cleats at the right position to connect with the clips and the binding. And then it can be really dangerous. I mean, just imagine going full speed and sometimes your binding just disconnects, and then it can be really dangerous.
Sounds great. All right. So are the straps somehow integrated into the boots, or are the boots stiffer to compensate for the missing straps?
They might feel a bit stiffer, that's true. But what I recommend is always heat molding your liner. Then they fit perfectly to your foot, and they feel like already worn in. And what's the cool thing is that you don't have any straps on your boot. So if you sometimes close your straps too tightly, you might get some pressure points, and you don't have that with step-ons.
Okay. And does it not feel unsecure or strange without the straps?
It's just a thing of getting used to it. I mean, you might recognize it in the first couple of runs or couple of days, but after that, when you're used to it, it feels super cool that you don't have straps in your way ever, and you have a minimum weight because it's less material. And I mean, it's super easy to use and feels absolutely confident to ride with.
Cool. Is there any option to have like a relax mode on lift rides to give your foot some rest?
Not really. The only thing is you can do is like open up your boa closures on the foot on the boot. But other than that, there's nothing to do.
All right.
But what you might want to do during lift rides is fold the high back forward, so especially on chairlifts, so you don't get caught on the any chairlift parts. And I mean, this is also good for storage purpose.
Nice.
And the high back never reclines to the back, so it stops here. So when you're skating in lift lines, for example, it's never in the way.
So you say that the lever needs to be pulled up to step out of the bindings. Is that wouldn't be pushing down a more natural movement?
That's what I thought first, but it's just also a thing of getting used to it. I mean, you pull it up, and with that movement, you also pull up your heel, and getting out of the binding like this is like the motion from two-strap binding. So I think that's not a big deal.
Cool. And how is it for beginners? Is it easy to step in and out of it, and especially on steeper hills or while sitting down? How does that work?
Sitting down and stepping on is almost impossible, I can tell. So beginners should search for a flat surface, and then it's no problem. I mean, it takes a little balance at first, but then it's no problem. And advanced riders, they can just chop a little platform into the snow with your edge, and then step on, and it's good to go. And if you have a bit of experience, then you can also step on while you're already moving, or even in the lift.
The lifties will love that. There is a little clip on the boot, and with the pants getting bigger and bigger, is there a danger of getting your pants caught in the system?
In my experience, no. If you just always put your pants in the pants clip, that's what it's made for, then your pants will not get jammed in the clips.
And classic question, what's about riding in powder? How do you clip in or step on in powder?
The thing that you usually do in powder is, of course, wiping off the biggest piles of snow. And then if you really have to step on in 1 meter of freshies, then you make a little platform with the snowboard first, and then you step on, but it's no problem. Even if there's like a bit of ice or snow stuck to your base plate, you can still step on it because there are two levels of connections. If you just connect with the first click, then you're still probably connected. Just make sure the toe clips are connected, and then it's no problem.
All right. So since you can only use certain boots, can you also put these bindings only on certain boards?
You basically can put them on every board, but it's known from Burton that they have two separate systems. We first have the reflex system, that's with the disc on the bottom, and you can mount these bindings to every board that has a traditional insert pattern. And then we have the EST system. That's a Burton-owned thing that has no disc and just two screws on the outside. And these things only work with the channel board. So that's Burton, and that's some Endeavor boards. So make sure that you got the right binding for your board. The reflex bindings can be mounted also on channel boards, but the EST bindings only go with channel boards. But the cool thing is, the EST step-on bindings are really the lightest of all fast entry bindings.
Wow. And is there a possibility for kids as well to use step-ons?
Yes, Burton has a Groms version and a Smalls version, so two different sizes for different sized, different aged kids. And what's cool that Burton also has a split version of the step-on. So I mean, if you're a tourer, then you know that it's cool that you don't have any straps in the way, and that you have a lightweight binding to go up. I mean, nothing better than that.
Perfect. So there's a lot of technical parts in this. How's the warranty with step-ons?
Burton gives you a 1-year warranty, but a lifetime warranty on base plates. But from my experience, it's easy to get spare parts from Burton. So if anything breaks, you're covered.
Perfect. And final and probably a very important question for many users, how expensive are they?
Well, it kind of sums up because you have to buy boots and bindings. So there's a wide range of prices. So starting from 330 for bindings, ending up to 560 for the boots. So there's a wide range. So you have a lot to choose from. But yeah, it's not a cheap system.
All right, thank you. So here we have the Nidecker Supermatics. This is one of the most popular bindings of the last couple of seasons, and it's pretty new to the market. We have the one from Nidecker, obviously, and by now there's also more brands that carry these. This is, for example, the bent metal version. And the Supermatic is, it's called the first automatic universal fast entry bindings on the market. And that means you can actually use them with any boot you like. And you also don't have to bend down to close them. And it still has straps, which is kind of nice because you can sort of adapt them like any regular two-strap binding that you know. And yeah, just mount it to your board like your usual two-strap binding. And then, of course, adjust all the straps, all the buckles. They have auto-lock buckles, what they call, which means that they don't move around anymore once you've set them properly up. And make sure it's not too tight, especially this connecting strap here in the front should not touch your boot. And yeah, first run of the day, you can basically step in like in usual two-strap binding and set them up correctly. Once you've done that, you probably don't have to do that every day, of course, but especially for the first time, you should. And rest of the day, just use the step-in system, which means you push down this little lever right here, and the whole system releases. Lets you step out of the binding. You see it reclines all the way back, so it's super, super big entry. And then you can just push your boot down. You hear a lot of clicks, and then you know you're strapped in and properly buckled up. Before you drop in, you saw that the high back reclines all the way down. So you have a lot of room, especially because the strap lifts up while you do this. And yeah, then slide in the toes. There's little parts in here that makes it easier to slide in, like this little roller on the high back. And the base plate is very smooth as well, so it's super easy to slide in with your boot. Toes first, press down the heel pedal, you hear the clicks, and you're set and ready to go. You can adjust the straps all day long, basically. Whenever you feel there's pressure points or not enough pressure, you can just ratchet them down like a usual two-strap binding. And once you're at the lift, easy as that, step out.
Looks great. So I really can use every random boot?
You can use every boot that you know, except for step-on boots. And you should maybe check that it's not too old of a boot, because older boots tend to get more abrasion and more wear and tear of these step-in systems.
Yep. And looking at this heel cup, I mean, it looks pretty massive. Isn't that like a deep step in to get into the binding?
It is really massive because of the system that's behind it and all the little pieces that needs to hold your boot in or your feet in the right position. But since the strap opens up, the high back reclines, there is a lot of space for you to actually step in. So it's pretty easy once you get used to it to step into this binding, and you don't even have to look down anymore.
I see the release lever is on the inside. Isn't that like harder to reach when you're standing?
It might be that like that in the first couple of times that you do it, but you get used to it really quickly, and then it's super, super easy. So it obviously depends on how you bend down, but yeah, it's definitely about getting used to it. And like with every system, especially the step-on or step-in systems, you just have to get used to the new technology or the new system that is a little different from regular two straps, of course.
Okay. And how is it for beginners? I mean, is it easy to step in while you're sitting? And what about if the terrain is getting steeper?
Yeah, the easiest obviously is in flat terrain, especially for beginners, of course. For advanced riders, you can just with it, like you do with the two-strap binding, make a little platform with your snowboard edge, get a good hold there, and then or step into this binding as well. If you got used to the system and know how it works, you can also use it while riding the lift, for example, the T-bar. and step in on basically while you're already starting to ride. So it gets really easy once you've gotten used to this motion of stepping into the binding and pressing down.
Cool.
And while sitting, to be honest, the movement to go inside from the back is kind of impossible unless you're really flexible. So I would recommend, if you really need to sit down, just use the regular straps, because you can still use this as a regular two-strap binding.
So what about in powder? Does it work in powder?
It works perfectly fine in powder. I mean, every binding, when you're sitting in powder and you want to strap in, you need to push the snow out first. And that's what you have to do with this as well. And once that that powder is out, it's pretty simple, to be honest. Especially the sliding part of the base plate, there's no snow sticking to that. It just flies off, basically. And if it really is so deep that you cannot step in, just use the straps. Simple as that. Obviously, it loses sort of the convenience at that point, but if you're really that deep in powder, I think you have other problems.
What about my baggy pants? Can they get stuck somewhere?
Well, if you really have big pants, then you have to take a bit care that you don't get the pants stuck in between all these little nooks and crannies. Just pull them up, step in, then let them down, and then you're good to go.
And I mean, how's the feeling when you're riding? Is there any movement, or does it feel like a two-strap binding?
It does. So since you have a regular toe strap basically, and you have a good ankle strap, and they are just connected by this little connecting strap in between, which doesn't touch the boot though. It just basically feels like a regular two-strap binding, and you can crank it down really like you do with a two-strap binding. If you want that extra 2 ratchets just before you hit the big line, it's easy to get with these. And you still have the convenience of stepping in from behind super easily and just click down and you're good to go.
When I'm on the lift, is there an option to release it a bit and get the blood flowing?
Yeah, basically, as you would also do with a two-strap binding, you can just release the buckles a little on your straps, and then you have more room to breathe on your foot. Then you can crank it down again once you start riding. These buckles now have all a so-called auto lock system, which means once you've put them in the position that you want them in, they shouldn't move anymore. Like there's no movement to the back or the front, which a regular two-strap binding would still be able to get tighter. That doesn't happen on these, but you can do it manually, of course. You can just release it with a little lever and you're good to go.
Nice. What about the high back? Isn't that in the way when it's open, when I'm, for example, in a lift line and want to skate forward?
Yes, so when it's open like this, it's definitely in the way, but you can still fold it forward, so it's just like a regular
Okay.
two-strap binding, again, not in the way anymore, and you can still open it and close it like this.
Perfect. And what about my kids? Can they ride Supermatics?
So far, there are only adult versions of these bindings. The smallest one go down to EU size 35.5, so if your kids already have that size, feel free to use those for them. Otherwise, for now, it's just for adults. It's definitely a very technical binding, so it might not be the best suitable binding for kids as well.
Okay. And how's the warranty on the Supermatics?
1 year basic warranty, or the minimum of your country, actually.
Final question. Are they expensive?
Well, as I told you before, it's a high-end binding. So this does not come cheap, but you don't need other boots. You can use your old regular boots. And you can get these in 2 different versions, or actually 3 different versions if you count the bent metals. So there's one regular one, basically the OG binding for 450 euros. And there's a carbon version that goes up to 550, which is a little lighter, a little stiffer, even more high-end than this already is.
Wow. Cool. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you. This was my Decker Supermatic. Ollie, what do we have here?
Wow, that's something brand new, Nico. That's the new FASE bindings. FASE stands for Fast Entry System, and it just made his market entry with the Rome Katana FASE, the Battalion Blaster FASE, the Jones Mercury FASE, and yes, they are making bindings now, the 32 Team FASE. It's already clearly visible that the FASE bindings, they have a really long ankle strap ladder, and on the back there's this pedal, and a connecting pin on the high back. So how does it work? Once you mounted your binding to your boot, you just step in. The high back is a bit reclining, not as much as other fast entry bindings. You put in your foot. You just have to adjust first the toe strap. It's lockable, so make that adjusting to your boot, not too tight. Then make sure the ankle strap is all open to the top. There's a little stopper here, so it won't disconnect. And you slide in with your foot. You're stepping with your heel on this little pedal thing here. Then the pin and the pedal connect. The high back will go upright automatically. And then you just have to close the ankle strap with one hand, and then you're good to go. And to get out, simply open up the ankle strap with one hand. The high back will recline automatically if you lift up your heel, and then you can just take out your foot. And that's it.
All right, sounds good. Can I use any snowboard boot with these?
Yes, you can. That's a cool thing that you don't have to buy a special snowboard boot for that.
Nice. Okay, so but I still have to bend down twice, like for closing and for opening them. So it's basically just one strap less than on a usual two-strap binding. So why should I get this instead of a normal two-strap?
Well, the philosophy of FASE is that they are the evolution of a two-strap binding. So the same feeling, the same adjustment possibilities, and most of all, the same performance as a two-strap binding. You get a faster entry and exit, and that's what FASE is all about. And that this thing is really performing greatly has been proven by Victor Delarue, who just won the 25 free wide world tour with it, Jones Mercury FASE. And by Starley Sandbeck, who won the natural selection 25 with the Rome Katana FASE. Right. So the focus is on performance. Also have to mention that the focus target group of FASE bindings are like advanced core riders, so it's not really made for beginners. And also I have to say that FASE bindings don't see themselves in a competition with rear entry bindings or step-ons or Supermatics or anything like that. They want to be competing with other two-strap bindings because that's what they are, basically.
Okay. So this fast strap, what this is called, can this disengage if I open it with too much energy?
Well, as you can see, you really have to pull extremely hard to open that, but you can if you want. So there's also the option that you enter it traditionally via the straps, but usually it doesn't disengage.
You mentioned that they want to compete with other two-strap bindings, so does it also really feel like a regular two-strap binding?
Yes, it does. I mean, the FASE, as you said, they consider themselves as a two-strap binding, and they really feel like that. It has not any connecting straps, no clips or anything. If the high back is closed, then it really feels like a traditional binding.
Nice. And you mentioned adjustability. What adjustments can I make? Is it like a regular two-strap binding, and where are the differences?
Also there, it's really like a two-strap binding. You can adjust the straps, and I mean, you can adjust the gas pedal, so the length of the base plate, and you have a forward lean adjuster, and that's pretty much like a traditional two-strap binding.
Okay, sounds good. So what about during lift rides? Is there any way to relax my foot a little bit?
Well, again, like with traditional two-strap bindings, you can just open up the straps a little bit, and then you get the blood flowing again. Also for lift rides, you can push the high back forward, so it's not in the way when, especially on chairlift rides. It also works good for storing the bindings, so you can really save some space if you push the high back forward.
Nice. All right, cool. It looks simple enough to get in on flats, but how about steep, icy slopes? How's the entry system working there?
As I mentioned, it's made for advanced riders. So advanced riders, they should know that they are, like you. They should like chop a little platform on the snow when the terrain is a bit steeper, and then you can easily get in. And I mean, with a little training, you can also step in on the move when you already like started your run. And also in the lift, you can already step into it.
All right, cool. But all this sliding in and stepping in and over the straps in the high back, does that like have a lot of abrasion on the boot, or how does that
Well,
come up in the end?
not really. The only thing that you have to take care of is that your toe strap is not preset too tight, and then it's no problem at all. I mean, if you have super old boots, of course there's a little like friction every time you get into it, but I have seen no problem with that.
All right. So with my baggy pants that are super big, and we see these little things everywhere, is there any danger of getting stuck in these bindings?
I never experienced anything like that. I was riding the binding for the past weeks, and I have baggy pants, and I never got my binding stuck in. I see no problem there.
Okay, perfect. And classic question as well. We are riding powder a lot, so what do I do? Can I get into these bindings in powder as well, or is there any problem?
You can, of course. I mean, as usual, when there's some snow stuck in the binding, you wipe off the biggest part of it, and then you can step in as usual. And even on the little pedal, which is like tiny parts, I never experienced any problem with them getting frozen or anything.
Okay.
And if everything fails, then you can still like open up the straps completely and then get in traditionally like a two-strap binding.
You just mentioned the tiny pedal and pin. Is that something that might break at some point? What about the warranty on these?
They are made with extra reinforcement, so they're really robust. But of course, in snowboarding, there are extreme forces happening, so things can break. But what's cool, on the system-specific parts, you get the lifetime warranty.
Wow.
So whenever something breaks of the system parts, you will get them replaced.
Awesome. You already mentioned that FASE is just a system that is available in all these different bindings. What are the differences? How are they different from each other?
Well, what you see is that Rome and Battalion, they have this aluminium asim wrap chassis. So it's just closed on one side, open on the other side, and made of aluminium. And the Jones and the 32 bindings, they are made of nylon reinforced with glass fiber. And of course, every brand has their own specific details. Like the high back is different on all versions. The padding of the straps are slightly different. And Battalion and Rome, they use a mini disc, while Jones and 32 are using the little bigger offset discs. So everyone has their own little details.
All right. And how about my kids? Can they step into these FASE bindings as well?
For the market entry right now, there's just the adults version available.
This is a whole new system, as you said, market entry. Is it reliable?
Well, it's new, that's true, but it's been tested and research developed for over 7 years. And I can just say from my own experience that it works super nice. And it takes a little time for getting used to it, but then it just feels super great, like a normal two-strap binding.
Awesome. And final question, of course, how much these set me back?
Well, they are not the super cheap bindings, but also not super expensive. So they range between like 300 to 400 euros, depending on what model.
All right. Thank you very much. FASE bindings.
In your face!
It's not just a FASE, Mom. This is what many would consider the OG of fast entry binding. You might know it as the flow system or flow design. It started off as its own brand, but for now, or since a couple of years, it is part of the Nidecker group and runs under the Nidecker brand as well as flow design binding. There are two different versions basically. There are more models, but two different versions. As the hybrid one, which comes with sort of two straps that are connected, and the fusion ones, which have this classic one strap design on the top of your boot. And the fusion I would consider sort of the classic flow binding that you would know for decades of binding making. And it has this one strap over the whole foot, distributes the pressure of the strap over the whole front of your foot. And the hybrid straps look a bit more like on the new Nidecker Supermatics. It's two different straps that are connected with this little notch in between. They have regular ratchets on them, so you can use them basically as a two-strap binding as well. Those ratchets are also on the fusion bindings. On the hybrids, they also have the auto lock, which means the straps are not moving in any direction if you set them up properly. This binding is one of the most popular models of the Flow design bindings, and that comes in at around 1095 grams. So it's pretty much middle of the road compared to regular two-strap bindings as well. The Flow bindings, you set them up once, and then you can pretty much forget about it. Like you set them up to your boot, and then all you have to do is lever back, high back open. It reclines very far down, so there's a lot of space to go in. Yeah, slide your boot in. Always make sure the cables are on the inside of the straps and they don't look, flap around somewhere. And then pretty much just pull it up, snap it back into place, you're good to go. For getting out, it's pretty much the same, but the other way around, right? So I'll show you on this one. Just open the lever, slide out, you're out. On the hybrids, on the higher end models, when you open it, it also opens up the strap a bit, so you have even more space to get out. It's even easier.
So can I use them with any boot?
Yes, they're universal. You can use any boot you want.
With the reclining high back, when I'm in the lift line and skating, isn't that in the way?
If you leave it like that, yes. So I would recommend what you can always do, even if the lever is open, you can still fold it forward, so it's not in the way when you skate.
Perfect. What about lift rides? Can I loosen them up a bit?
Well, yes, but you would have to unlock the straps basically a little bit, which takes away a little bit of the convenience that you have with these. But you technically can loosen them up a little bit on lift rides and then close them down again.
What if I'm a beginner? Is it easy to get in when this terrain gets a little steeper?
It's most easy on flats, definitely, and especially as a beginner. If you are advanced, you can build like a little platform with your snowboard edge, and then you would have to stand on your toe edge, though, because you have to still get in from behind. But yeah, with a little practice, it's pretty easy. You can also, when the high back is open, just step in while you're already sort of on the move, and then just pull up the lever, and you're ready to go, basically.
Cool. And how's the feeling when you're riding? Does it feel sort of like a two-strap binding?
Especially the hybrid ones feel very close to two-strap binding. They snuggle your boot pretty well and pretty comfortably, and you can adjust it in any way that you want. The Fusion has a little different feeling for sure. It's a different pressure distribution from this one-piece strap, uh, but it also holds you really well into the boot. And a lot of people actually prefer this feeling over a regular two-strap binding.
Okay. And if I'm wearing a baggy pants, can they get stuck somehow in the system?
Stuck? Not really, but if you have creases in your pants and you get them stuck in between the strap and your foot, for example, then it can get pressure on this specific point, which might be uncomfortable. So I would recommend to pull up your pants a little bit, especially over the strap, and then you're good to go.
Every time I'm getting in and out, I see there's a little friction or abrasion on your boot. What about my old boots? Do they wear off faster when I get into these?
Really old boots might have a problem with all the friction of going in and out, for sure. There is slip plates, especially on the base plate of these, which helps to reduce that friction. And it makes sense to not set the straps too tight, because if they are very tight, then you really have a lot of friction going in and out.
Yeah.
Especially modern boots are more suited for these kind of bindings, and I would recommend using those with these bindings.
Cool. So how about in powder? Does it work in powder?
It works perfectly well in powder. So, of course, like with every binding, you have to get the biggest chunks of snow out of the way before you step in. But other than that, it's working just like any other binding does in powder. Get the snow out, slide in, and you're good to go, basically. If you really have deep powder, and you cannot reach this angle to get from behind, you can still use the straps, open them up regularly, and then you can step in just like you used to with the two-strap binding.
So what about my kids? Can they ride flow bindings?
Yes, they can. There's kid-specific models of the Nidecker flow design bindings, so look similar to these. And they come in quite cheap as well, so it's easy.
Cool. And how's the warranty on these bindings?
Typical 1-year warranty or the minimum that your country has in place per law.
All right. And most important question, of course, are they expensive?
Well, they can be if you get the high-end top-of-the-notch model, but they start at already 180 euros. So you can get pretty much a very high range of prices. The kids bindings come in at 160 and the cheapest one at 180. It goes all the way up to 450. So if you really want that high-end carbon binding, they also got that.
Nice.
Thanks.
Cool thing.
Nidecker flow design bindings.
So here we have what has been in the snowboard game since like decades. That's the SP Fastec binding. Super easy to use. You just mount it to your board, obviously. Then you adjust all the straps so they fit your boot, that are centered over your boot. You lock the straps, and then to get in, you just pull down the lever on the high back, recline the high back all the way down. Then you see the buckle on the ankle strap pops open automatically, and then you see you have a wide space to slide in with the boots, toes first, into the toe strap. Then when your boot is in, you push up the high back, push up the lever, and not forget, pull down the buckle on the ankle strap, and then you're ready to go. And adjustments always possible, of course. You have little buckles and clips on either side of the binding. And to get out, just again, pull down the lever, push down the high back, the buckle pops open, and you can take out your foot. And that's pretty easy to use.
Awesome, sounds great. So does that mean I can use any snowboard boot I want?
Yes, of course you can. You don't have to buy any special boots for it.
Awesome. But I still have to bend down twice to open and close it?
Yes, you do. But as you see, the high back really reclines almost to the snow surface, so you really have a easy way to slide in your foot.
Okay, sounds easy enough. But as you said, sliding in and out, does that have a lot of friction on your boots, and how's the wear?
Well, we can't deny that every time you step in and out, it has a little friction, of course, here. But if your boots are really super old, that might be a problem. But other than that, with kind of new boots, you won't have any problem.
So seeing the high back down like this, is it in the way when I'm skating?
Like this, it will be. But the good thing is that you can also like fold it forward, so it's not in the way when skating. And also for storage, I mean, if you put it under the strap, you can pull the high back all the way down.
So you mentioned adjustments. What adjustments can I make?
Well, as I said, the one adjustment that's necessary is to adjust the strap to your boot. Don't make them too tight, because otherwise it will be really hard to open and close the lever on the back. But other than that, the regular adjustments, like you can adjust the gas pedal length, you can adjust the forward lean, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if I'm in the lift line and it's my blood is not flowing well through my foot, can I loosen them up somehow?
That's one really cool features in SP bindings. They have this little button here. If you push it when you're in the lift, then you see the buckle pops open and the blood gets flowing again.
Awesome.
And when you're at the top of the lift, just pull it back down. It's closed like it was before. Go.
Okay, great. So it looks like a pretty regular two-strap binding. Is the feeling similar as well?
It kind of feels the same. Yeah, the cables, they really hold everything in place super tight and super comfortable. And I mean, there's no extra straps in between. And when riding, it really feels like a two-strap binding.
So how is it for beginners? Is it easy to step in and out? And also, can I do it while sitting down or in steep terrain?
Yeah, I mean, as you saw, the high back really reclines all the way almost to the snow surface, so it's a big and easy opening to get in. And of course, it's the most easy on flat surfaces. But even if it's steeper or if you're in deeper snow, you can always open the straps completely and get in like in a traditional two-strap binding.
And what about powder? You already mentioned powder. What if there's snow inside the binding?
Well, of course, what you always should do with every kind of binding, you wipe out the biggest piles of snow, and then you can still step in. But also, again, if it's too deep snow, or if you can't stand up on the deep snow, you can always like enter from the side where the straps.
Okay, cool. So with all my baggy pants, is there any danger of getting stuck somewhere in the system?
I wouldn't say that, because if you enter the binding, then your pant will be inside of the high bag. The only thing that can happen is that they get stuck a bit underneath the straps, but they will still close, so there's no problem with that.
All right. If I want my kids to ride these bindings, is there any option for that?
Yes, there are special kids versions of the SP bindings. And what's also cool, the SP also makes splitboard bindings with that rear entry system.
With all these technical parts, how's the warranty with these?
There's a regular 1-year warranty, but on the base plates, there's a lifetime warranty.
It's a system that's been on the market quite a while, but how pricey are they?
Well, they are the most budget-friendly fast entry bindings, I would say, because they're starting from like 160 euros and just go up to like 380 euros. And I mean, they're not the most technical high-end binding, but as you said, they're in the market since decades, and that's proof that they are working and that people love them. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Fastec bindings. Okay, wow, there was a lot of systems actually. I mentioned in the beginning that the market share of fast entry bindings is about 25%, rising, but still. There is a huge bunch of snowboarders who are still relying on the old and very well received two-strap binding like these. So this is a classic binding for a reason. It's working, it's simple to use, and especially for getting out, it's almost as fast as all the fast entry bindings, right? True, for stepping in, it's a bit slower for sure, but there's no reason, if you really like two-strap bindings, to change. You get these from super cheap and beginner friendly to all the way like carbon, lightweight, spaceship extravaganza material. So there's something for everyone in this market. And they simply work. So if you really like two-strap bindings, there's no reason to switch. In the end, it comes down to your very own preferences. So if you like fast entry bindings for the convenience, go for it. They are not meant really seasoned riders. They are more meant for people who just want the convenience, want to bend down less. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you learned something about all these fast entry systems and understand the different systems as well. And ultimately, this video hopefully helps you to decide if you want to stick with the two-strap binding, get one of these fast entry systems, or something completely different. There are more systems on the market for sure, but we narrowed it down to the most important and best working ones. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment under this video or contact our customer service. They're always there to help you as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nico. It was a pleasure.
Peace out.